Brussels, the international campaign to abolish nuclear weapons won the Nobel Peace Prize on Friday, a recognition of its efforts to avoid nuclear conflict at a time when it seems more likely than at any other period in recent memory. The Norwegian Nobel Committee said that it was honoring the group in part because of its support for an international treaty on the prohibition of nuclear weapons, which was approved in July by the United Nations and opened for signatures last month. The 10-year-old grassroots civil society movement pushes for nuclear disarmament across the world. The committee recognized the group for its work to draw attention to the catastrophic humanitarian consequences of any use of nuclear weapons, and for its groundbreaking efforts to achieve a treaty-based prohibition of such weapons, Chairwoman Berit Reiss-Andersen said as she announced the prize in Oslo. There is a popular belief among people all over the world that the world has become more dangerous, and that there is a tendency where we experience that the threats of nuclear conflict have come closer, Reiss-Andersen said. The group has been successful in engaging people in the world who are scared of the fact that they are supposed to be protected by atomic weapons, she said. She said that the executive director of the Geneva-based group, Beatrice Fine, was delighted when informed of the prize. In a measure of the sudden surge in interest in the group, its website was down Friday morning following the announcement. The coalition, which was modeled on international efforts to ban landmines, says it has branches in more than 100 countries. Fine has been an outspoken critic of President Trump, and the White House's approach to nuclear diplomacy. At the UN ceremony last month as the nuclear ban treaty opened for signatures, she said she hoped that the countries that have not supported the ban, including the United States and the world's other nuclear powers, would soon change their position. We are putting nuclear weapons in the same category as other unacceptable weapons, Fine said at the ceremony, according to a transcript of her remarks. It strengthens the norm that weapons that cause unacceptable harm for civilians cannot remain legal, and that nuclear weapons are no longer an exception to these norms. The Nobel Committee said the award was not intended as a hit against any particular country or leader, but rather an effort to encourage all nations to give up their nuclear weapons in the name of a safer world. The award came at a moment when world peace seems especially fragile. North Korea in recent months has embarked on a series of ambitious tests of nuclear weapons technology, and now appears poised to threaten the mainland United States. Trump and the North Korean government have traded an escalating series of insults and threats of war. Meanwhile, Trump is poised next week to decertify Iran's compliance with a deal limiting its nuclear program, a step that European allies worry would derail the effort to foreclose Iran's ability to build nuclear weapons. Iran has said it has no intention of acquiring nuclear arms. Separately, the 1991 Nobel Peace Prize laureate, Burmese leader Aung San Suu Kyi, has come under fire for failing to stop or condemn the ethnic cleansing of her nation's Rohingya Muslim minority in recent months. Last year's prize was awarded to Colombian President Juan Manuel Santos just 5 days after Colombian voters narrowly voted against the peace accord that was the basis for the Nobel honor. The Nobel Committee said it hoped the prize would encourage the two sides in the conflict, one of the world's longest running, to keep pursuing peace despite the setback. Since then, the peace process has held, although the role of the Nobel remains unclear. Read more.